Okay, welcome to The Anxious Woman. That's me. I'm Poet. I just did a video talking about anger and fear, but I want to talk about something completely different and just get people's takes on things. I have my little mini coffee. Actually, I think that's what I'm going to do from now on. I'm going to get just this is probably like an 8-ounce or maybe a 10-ounce glass. It's like this, as opposed to the tall one, just a little one like this, little tiny bit of coffee. How do you handle when you feel you have no control in your home or in your life? You know how sometimes things look really perfect and then you find out they're not really perfect, that there's a real struggle. And you might go, well, like I didn't realize. And like no one's life is perfect and there's always going to be a struggle. So with a situation for me, I was Sky's full-time care partner for, let's see, he got COVID the end of 2020 and he passed away in 2024. So everything that needed to get done, I needed to do. Everything. I needed to make sure the car was maintained, there was gas in the car, there was food in the house. I needed to be the go-between with the doctor and him, to make sure all of his scripts, do everything lawyer related, banking, everything, all of it. The whole 9 yards, all of it. And so I was in as much control as life allows us because he couldn't do it. And there was no one else to do it but me. So I was doing everything for me and I was doing everything for him and I was just doing everything and everything for the apartment and making sure everything got covered. So in my husband's case, my new husband's case, and we've been married 6 months now, right? February, March, April, May, June, July. Yeah, more than 6 months. More than 6 months. Where the heck did those 6 months go? He also took care of himself. He went through a divorce. It was very long and drawn out for a long time. And he took care of himself for a very long time. And so he handled all of his things. He got everything done. And then when you have two people and they both have done everything themselves and you put that together, this person is so used to doing everything without a partner, right, to talk with and make decisions with and all that. And this person over here, the same. And then you're trying to put them together, and then there's this because there's this. In our case, this is George and this is me. I'm very open. I'm a very open book kind of person. George is like nada, zip, nothing. And so for me, for a very long time, I drifted in this relation. I just drifted. Whatever he chose, the choices, the house, the furniture, the choices that were made. I said this months ago in a video. With all of the until just recently, did I start to feel confident enough to find my voice in the relationship to say, could we do this as a partnership? Could we both give our opinions on maybe what kind of rug we want here, or what color pattern, or what kind of decoration do we want on the table, that kind of thing. All of the big decisions were made by him because he was just so used to making all of the decisions. And I was over here used to making all of the decisions. And then everything happened so fast, and he continued to make all of the decisions. And so I was struggling to figure out when I was supposed to use my voice, because I'm a voice person and he's not. And so it was kind of like he was always like this, not punching, but closed up. And I was always like this, right? And then when we met and got together and everything, I found myself becoming like this, okay? Where I wanted to be more like this, but I didn't feel I could. And so I stayed like this, kind of like this, actually. Kind of like this, kind of like not on the radar for a while. Just recently, am I more going like this? Unless everything bottles up in me in the middle of the night and I'm ruminating about 8 million things, and then it comes out as anger, which is really fear. So then you have to figure out how to balance. Instead of it being like this, you've got to find that balance. And some days it can be like this, and some days it's 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 like this. So I think I found that to be one of the hardest things is I feel like I was like this in my 20s, where I had like no say and no power and I was there, but I really wasn't. And that doesn't mean he's a bad person, because he's not a bad person. So no comments on that, please. That's not my point. My point is that we both were in control in our lives separately, and then coming together and trying to figure out, for him it was like trust, because of past experiences. For me it was, how do I fit into the picture, so to speak. It's really hard when you've been through a loss and you've lost your partner, and he had lost his brother, so there was a lot of grief going on. There just was a lot of things, and you're trying to mesh this and make this work. And I really care very deeply for him, and he cares very deeply for me, and there's no doubt there. But there definitely has been this, yes, the flowers look nice on the deck. Yes, the table looks nice. Yes, the pillows look nice. And I'm very blessed, and I know I'm very blessed, and I thank the universe every single day. And he's a really great guy, and I'm a really great woman, and I think I'm a really good wife, and he's a really good husband. But there's a lot to learn about each other. A lot to learn about each other. And so to try and encourage him to open up a little bit, to be able to communicate with me the things that we need to talk about as a couple. The one thing for me that's a huge, huge fear is becoming a widow again. I am terrified of the thought of becoming a widow again. I went through that experience once. I do not want to go through that experience again. I do not. I hope that George and I live long lives, and we're well into our 90s, and we don't know our names, and it doesn't matter then. But I hope that he's the one left behind and I'm the one that goes first. because I've already been through being the one left behind, and it's awful. And I don't want to experience that again. So I worry about that because there's a lot of things that I need to learn about the house and the running of the house. And he's been very good lately of like putting a whole lot out on the table. And I appreciate that because I need to know all of the things. You need to know all of the things. You need to know all the bills. You need to know all the account numbers, the phone numbers, the addresses, the this, the that. When is stuff due? Like, you need to know all of it. All of it. And there has to be like a trust factor across the board. And so you learn a lot about the person you're with when you, 10 minutes, when you get in a new relationship and you've just been out of one and you lived a certain way. And, with Sky being so ill and he was bedridden a lot and I was pretty much on my own, by myself because he was nonverbal a lot of the times or sleeping or whatever. And I was trying to find my way through life with basically an alive dead man. And I don't know how else to put that. And I don't mean any disrespect to anyone, but that's what it was like for me. He was alive, but he wasn't, if that makes sense. And so I was trying to get everything done and be like the superwoman, because you have to be. And you have to be strong and you can't be weak and you can't fall apart because then what's going to happen and who's going to take care of this sick man and all that. And then he passes away and you have to catch your breath 85 times. And you spend a lot of time looking out the window at nothing or laying in your bed and seeing nothing and not eating for 2 or 3 days and sipping water and taking your anti-anxiety med because you feel like you're falling apart. And then at some point you get up and you wash your hair and you get a shower and you put a little bit of makeup on and you join the land of the living, so to speak. And then you get in a new relationship and you start all over again with a brand new person, with a brand new personality, with his own set of stuff. So I came into this with my baggage, right? And I might have had like 5 bags of baggage. And he came into it with his 5 bags of baggage. And here we are with 10 bags of baggage. And we've got to go through them. And we've got to like figure out how to empty the baggage and get rid of it and clear it out and understand it, what's in each one, so that we can, so it can be a partnership. Because you have one person in control and one person in control, and then you try to put it together. So that's a lot of what, too, it has been, like going on, and then there's some things from like the situation with my son. I don't want that coming into my marriage. I can't have that. And he has some situations in his past that has come into the marriage that has been difficult on me. So we have to clear the air, and there has to be trust, and there has to be, there has to be a definite line drawn in the sand as to what you're going to tolerate. It has not been easy. It has not been a road of here's a senior woman and here's a senior man, and nothing bad had happened to them, and they just happened to meet on a dating app, and they got together, and they connected instantly, and they had no baggage, nothing. They just met, and each one of them had a magic wand, and it was like perfect. That wasn't the case. No, I was dragging along my baggage and he was dragging along his baggage, and there we kind of stood with my baggage and his baggage, and it's like, okay. And so we start going through the process of courtship and falling in love and getting engaged and getting married and all of the stuff that went in with that. And there was a lot of stuff, and we're still dealing with a lot of stuff. So, and I guess this is just called life, isn't it? It's just called life. I wonder what it would be like for me if I was alone. What would it feel like if George wasn't here? What would it feel like here for George? He seems to be a pretty strong man. He keeps a lot close to the chest. And I'm different now than when Sky passed away. I feel like I'm stronger. But I don't want to go through that experience again. But I feel like I'm stronger. But what would it be like for me here alone? What would it feel like? Times when he's not here and I'm here alone. I kind of get a feel of what it would be like. And sometimes it's a little scary, sometimes it's very comforting, and sometimes I'm completely okay, and sometimes I'm completely not. So there's a whole lot to all this, and I'm just sharing experiences and thoughts, and again, you know, what I talk about is because my hope is that with all the billions of people in the world, someone's going to go, that's me, and that's my boyfriend, or that's me, and that's my husband, and that's me, and that's my second husband because I'm a widow, and or whatever. Because there's too many people in the world for no one else to have gone through these things. There's too many people, too many. So that's what I wanted to talk about. So I'm going to go at 16 minutes, and I hope everyone is okay as you can be. I don't want to say, oh, I hope everyone's okay. That would be kind of foolish considering the world. We've had floods, we've had loss, we've had near misses in the sky, we've had you know, I just heard yesterday Malcolm Jamal Warner is not with us anymore, and Ozzy Osbourne is not with us anymore. And things, when I read things like that, it's like, yeah, that's life. That's the third stage. It's the end game. And it makes me like realize, I open my eyes a little wider. I enjoy my coffee a little bit more. And more than anything, and I'm going to leave you guys with this thought. And when I say guys, I mean just in general, you know, you folks, you lovely ladies, all of us seniors, male or female, or however old you are, there is no such thing as time. There's no such thing as tomorrow. You cannot describe time or tomorrow. You cannot describe yesterday. I mean, if you really think about it. The only thing that we have is right this second. All of us. Right now. This second. And so when I know that people that like I watched on TV or whatever are no longer a part of our world as we know it, it brings an awareness to me, like over and over. And it's at those times that I just want to grab, you know, like Lasso the Moon, you know, the movie, the Christmas movie, where the guy, what's the name of the movie? Is it Miracle on? No, it's not Miracle. He says to his future wife, Mary is her name, right? I'm gonna Lasso the Moon. She sings Lasso the Moon and he sings Lasso the Moon. So that's where I want to like lasso the moon. I want to do those things, you know. I want to sit out on that deck on a night that it's clear where I can see the stars and sit with my husband and watch the stars. But it's been so cloudy every single night that you can't see the stars. But there's things I want to do before I take that last breath, right? And that's what is important to me. The other day I was putting a cart back at the grocery store. And as I was walking back to the car, George was unlocking everything and the cart corral was like right there. And this elegant woman, a senior woman, she had a little necklace on of pearls. It was so, and she was dressed so nicely. She was styled, but in a way, she was so approachable, you know? And I looked at her and I said to her, "You look so pretty." And she got the biggest smile and she said, "Thank you." And I think women need to do that with women. I think women need to lift women up. And I've said that in other videos. So they're like just some of the things that I want to do with my time before I ran out of that. Be as okay as you can be. And try to lasso the moon. And thank you to Stacy for my card. And thank you to Lisa. And thank you to Mary Jo and Donna. And just thank you for folks who reach out here and there. Everybody's busy. I get that. I'm busy. But you're appreciated. I love yous to pieces. Take care.